Hello and welcome to episode 44 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I'm joined by my co-host and brother-in-law, Adam Snow. Adam, we had a day of rest going from yesterday to today, so how are you feeling after this Lions victory?
I feel great, Kyle. I feel so great. We beat the Packers in their own building in crappy weather. This dome team, can't play outdoors. How'd that go for you, Packers Nation? How about no pack no? We kicked your behinds. I don't know. It was great. I had a lot of fun watching this game. I figured it was going to be a gritty, like Lions would just have to run it all game long, and we'll get into the stats. But I mean, essentially that's what the Lions had to do. I mean, shoot, ball never touched the ground.
Yeah, I think with the way the Lions play, you'd say the Lions were had a outdoor field and the Packers were they had an indoor field.
If you didn't
So
know NFL football and you were just sitting down to watch that game, you probably would come to that conclusion. Like the
yeah,
Packers, did they play outdoors at all? Like, is this the first time out in the rain?
I don't think they practiced with a wet ball over the week. I don't think they really prepared right.
I don't know what they did. We can talk about what the Packers did wrong, but I'm more focused on what Detroit's doing right.
Yep. So on today's show, we're going to go over the Lions' Week 9 win against the Green Bay Packers, talk about the trade deadline, and then look ahead at Week 10 against the Houston Texans. So Lions 24, Packers 14. Overall, I don't know. First quarter was kind of a Packers chewed up 8 minutes right away. Then the Lions had the ball and they chewed up 7 minutes right away. But
The
that
fastest first quarter I think we have ever sat through. Like, it was like it started, and then the next minute we look up and it's like, wait, that was the quarter? Like, it was really quick.
yeah. Then the second quarter, the Lions basically took over, scored 17 unanswered points. Going after that, third quarter, Lions got the ball, scored a touchdown. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I felt like after that touchdown by the Lions, kind of became like a boring game. Like Lions kind of played that keep away game from the Packers, and um, so yeah, I was kind of bored after that.
Well, I won't say I was bored. And it wasn't worry, but I did feel a lot of just like, man, we haven't really scored anymore. The Packers could still make another score or two to make it interesting, but the Lions did what they needed to kind of chew up clock here and there. Yeah, they had to punt it, but Jack Fox, like, just changing the field position every time he kicks the
Oh
ball.
yeah,
So that, and then Jordan Love just not playing the Jordan Love standards that we kind of thought he'd be at. I mean, he's been hurt with the groin, so I don't know. I'm not saying it was boring. I did think it was more of a little bit of a chess match. It was more, you know, kind of that patient. You're just like waiting to see what kind of unfolds and how the Lions are handling the 3-score lead at that one point. Like, okay, yeah, you could let the Packers they chew up a lot of field, chew up a lot of time, which is kind of what their plan was. Like, let them chew up their own clock. Like, that's essentially what happened. The Lions kind of put the Packers in a position to where, Green Bay kept running the ball, or they kept the clock going on themselves, and Detroit just knew they just had to get the ball last, or they just let Green Bay eat up time, and then when the Lions get the ball back, they continue to eat time up. So it was kind of they put the Packers in a really bad position there in the second half.
yep. So real quick, let's go over some stats here, and we'll talk about the game some more. Lions, Jared Goff, 18 and 22 for 145 yards, one touchdown. David Montgomery, 17 carries for 73 yards, three receptions for 23 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries for 65 yards, one touchdown, one reception for 11 yards. Then we had Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 receptions for 56 yards and one touchdown. For the Packers side, we had Jordan Love, 23 of 39 for 273 yards and one interception. Josh Jacobs, 13 carries for 95 yards, two receptions for 13 yards, and Jaden Reed, 5 receptions for 113 yards. Total yards for each team: Lions 261, Packers 411 yards. And time of possession: Lions 31 minutes and 11 seconds, and Packers 28 minutes and 49 seconds.
That's the key right there. I think
Yep.
it's pretty much dead even almost, but I mean, the fact that the Lions just had a little bit more control over the time on the clock, that's a big factor. But you look at like the total yards there, though. They said this is the second week in a row the Lions got the victory without leading in the yards per game or the total yards, because last week Tennessee just racked up yards and Detroit didn't have to do much, and they got 2 wins. Like, that's absolutely crazy to me that's how good this team is they, and that the illusion of those stats too, because Green Bay got a lot of garbage time, yards, and like at times where Detroit already got things kind of not put away per se, but the Lions had their lead. They were essentially letting Green Bay dink and dunk and run a few here, and that adds up to stats at the end of the day. But that just shows you how good this team is. It's awesome. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I think the big thing for the Lions is their defense, red zone defense in particular. Like, they got to be ranked like one of the highest red zone defenses. Whether it be like interceptions in the end zone, stopping them short on the goal line. Um, yeah, I think they're ranked right up there. So
Yeah, I can. Let's see if I can. I don't know, where do you find this magical information on the internet?
they got PFF or DVOA, but I think you got to pay for those if you want. Like,
Oh heck, we don't make enough
yeah,
money on this podcast to afford any of that junk.
yeah. So one
So
day
let's just
you'll
say
be
the
able to.
Lions have a top 5 red zone defense. I don't really know. Don't quote us on it. We can't
So
afford
yeah,
stats.
we're already talking about defense, so let's just jump into the defensive side of the ball here. Um, so yeah, defensive did an awesome job today or yesterday. Sorry. What really helped the Lions defense was as we already talked about it. It was a monsoon out there. It looked like a monsoon. You had wind gusts out there in the 40s, 40 mile per hour. It was about 44 degrees, so that kind of had that what they would call fall vibe football that everyone loves. So they held Green Bay to 2 field goals in the first half, or first quarter and third quarter, and then the fourth quarter they kind of gave up a touchdown, but I don't
Yeah.
think they were too worried about that. It didn't help. Shoot, I had his name. I just forgot it.
Who?
Um,
Help me
Meek
out, Kyle.
Robertson didn't. Meek Robertson got that penalty there. It kind of helped out the Green Bay to
Yeah.
score that touchdown. So that didn't help. But Kirby Joseph showing up again, recorded a pick six from Love. Love's only touchdown in the game there. So I think Kirby Joseph now leads the NFL in interceptions, I believe.
He's up there.
Yep.
And
So
he stepped up big. I mean, I'm sure the next bullet point is going to be talking about how the Lions lost Brian Branch to an
yep.
unfortunate ejection. Look, talking about that play. Look, a flag, sure, can't argue with it. I mean, it was a rough hit. I don't think there was any intent behind it. Obviously, New York thought that it was a little more egregious, so they ejected him. And I guess Dan Campbell in his press conference today might have said along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, that when you're on a nationally televised game like that, or a game that's seen a lot more across the country, the the bigwigs at the NFL headquarters are going to be watching that game and are probably more apt to step in and make a decision like that instead of like a 1 o'clock game. But there's like these 4 o'clock games and the Sunday night game. Oh yeah, they're probably more apt to you know give somebody the boot. So I don't know. I don't agree with it. I don't think he should have been ejected. And I'm not just saying that because we're Lions fans. I don't think. And you heard Brady on the broadcast. He could have been a little more convincing, but the ejection was unnecessary. And you'll go and listen to any other football talking head, this morning or all day, and they've all pretty much said the same thing. I don't think I've seen one person say that ejection was justified.
Yeah, especially coming from the NFL headquarters, because everyone was making a big stink about the referee crew. Was it Cleet Blakeman? Screwed the Lions a couple years ago or something like that.
What
But
ref hasn't screwed the Lions over? Let's just can't be a
yeah,
short list.
I think this guy was the most controversial referee crew they had.
Oh,
But
I
it
don't know. I
actually,
mean, we did a whole thing about Mr. Brad Allen last year. Wait till
oh,
we see you again, bud.
yeah. Well, anyways,
Timmy
yeah,
the
it didn't
referee might
come.
have to step in and help him out.
Yeah. So, but it did not come from Clete Blakeman. It came from the NFL headquarters, and
Yeah,
everyone was kind of saying like, why is the NFL headquarters, the guy we don't even know, calling this ejection on Brian Branch? Um, but I agree with you. Penalty definitely fine. He should have gotten.
yeah, fine.
He'll get fined regardless. But
Now the fine's
yeah,
gonna be worse because he gave him the double bird.
yeah, that. So hopefully that
But
don't bite him in the butt too if they
but
try
let's
extend
let's
the.
admit it. We're all gonna buy that T-shirt, right? Like we're all gonna get that on a T-shirt. Like
Yeah,
I'm already looking
I'm
at
gonna
that
get a
T-shirt.
big poster of it and hang it on the
There you
wall.
go. If you don't get a big poster put on your wall, I'll be disappointed in you.
But yeah,
Or
I
do I
want.
sniff a Christmas present?
For me, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you that for Christmas. All right, yeah, book it. All right. I get a
But
big
yeah,
old
we'll
like
see.
8 foot by 8 foot picture for you to hang up.
Yeah, right on the living room wall.
There you go. It's art.
Okay.
It's Louvre worthy.
Yeah, but we'll see if the NFL's kind of been if they're gonna question more on this play or this situation here. But moving on, defense allowed 20 first downs, 3 of 12 third down efficiency, uh, 2 of 3 fourth down efficiency, 0 sacks. That's pretty big. We'll talk about that too and the notes from the game. 2 punts and 1 interception. So overall, pretty good day for the defensive side.
Hey, I thought the defense played great. Little lackadaisical in the run stopping because um the what's his name Jacobs 95 yards rushing. He was looking pretty good there to start that game, and I was like, is this how Green Bay stays in it? But they were able to lock it down at some point. Green Bay definitely stopped. I don't know, scheming. Like they just kind of like ran him into a bunch of bodies, and it's just like, okay, like how's he gonna escape a mound of bodies when our mound of bodies is there too? They didn't move him around as much as I thought they could have because I think Josh Jacobs would have been a real big killer had they got him going a little more.
Yeah, he didn't really wasn't out there for the second half a lot. So I wonder if he's had a reoccurring injury from last week or if he was tired or what. But
I think it looked like he was limping around at one point, so
yeah.
I don't know.
So let's talk about the offense. Pretty quiet game overall. Detroit 2 of 2 on fourth downs. Both led to a touchdown. One by St. Brown with his pretty sweet end zone celebration there.
Also,
And
something
one
you need to
from,
get hung up on your wall.
yeah. Well, it's all over Facebook now. So copy and paste it.
There you go.
And the other by Gibbs running right up the middle there. I don't know if the Packers kind of gave up on that play or if they heard like a whistle or hearing
I
something, but that play was
I
free for the Lions.
I don't know. Goff waited till the last second to snap that ball, and then Gibbs just hit that hole. Penei Sewell opened a big freaking runway for him. And then did
Yeah.
you see? Did you get catch LaFleur's reaction after that play? Like LaFleur looked at the
Uh,
Lions sideline and said, "Get the or f off."
yeah, I saw that.
It was pretty good. I was
Well,
laughing
they were
pretty hard
saying
that day.
like Gibbs when he hits the hole, he was averaging like 11 miles per hour, and most backs at that point hit about 9 miles per hour. So
Gibbs is fast.
I don't know the way Gibbs stands in the backfield, standing straight up or whatever helps, but he's
I don't
one
know.
fast guy there.
He's so fast. Like if it weren't for some of those guys like just tripping him up, he'd have 50-yard runs all the time. Like he just gets tripped up like in that massive body. So unless he gets a completely clean hole, I mean, he'd be gone.
Yeah. So yeah, after the third quarter touchdown with Gibbs, already talked about it. Uh, I felt like the offense kind of went into the burn the clock mode when they were up 24-6. Again, Green Bay scored in the fourth quarter, so I think the Lions' idea there was hold the ball, burn the clock, and let's end this game.
Pretty much. I mean, hard to argue with that strategy. I mean, and they did it effectively. Yeah, they had a couple like what maybe one or two three and outs. It was just like you would have hoped they would have strung something together, but they were clearly playing it safe. They were not turning the ball over. You know, they were like, look, if we give it back, we're going to punt it. We're not going to make any dumb mistakes. Goff made a couple of great throws that were out about like he knew the play was dead, so he just got rid of it. Lived to fight another day. Unlike Jordan Love, who tried to make something happen and he ended up with that pick six.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Lions played very, especially in that weather. They knew it's like they knew like, hey, look, the weather's a factor. You don't want to throw any errant balls. You don't want to do any pitch plays and have a guy like so. They were very particular about how they ran that offense, and they were just playing to not turn the ball over. And that's been, I think, a silent key to their success is not turning the ball over, especially this 6-game stretch. Think of the last time the Lions turned the ball over, and it was that Montgomery fumble back in the Vikings game. Like they when they don't turn the ball over, this team is, I won't say guaranteed to win, but it's just the success factor is just so much greater for this team, especially. And the fact that they capitalized on other teams' mistakes, and that was a big factor in this one. Because Green Bay, if they would have just played a little smarter, we probably would have had a tighter, 14-14 kind of game. But the Love trying to make something happen, Packers receivers not being able to catch the ball for some reason, which I thought was weird. Love throwing it behind it. Like there was a lot of factors. I'm shocked that Green Bay played as poorly as they did.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Kind of a weird game there. So let's get into notes from the game here. We already talked about it being windy, raining, 44 degrees. But throughout the whole week, you always heard the sports media, all those talk shows talking about are the Lions going to be able to play in a dome in a wet scenario? That's all I heard. I'm pretty sure everyone else heard it too. But it seemed like the Lions were prepared. We had Goff throwing the ball, looking on point there. First half, he was it like 11 for 11? So
Like
he's
yeah,
perfect in the first half.
up to that 2 minute
Um,
warning, yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, um, so yeah, I don't. Green Bay did not seem ready for this game, and they
I don't know if it's they didn't seem like they were ready because that first drive they came out, they looked ready. They just couldn't capitalize. It was they the missed field goal, like which was weird. Like I mean, as much as we kept saying miss it, he just shanked it to the left a little bit. The couple of those fumbles that Love had that they recovered, but it's just uncharacteristic. Like the ball slipping around. Guys. I don't think anybody really slipped on the grass at all. But it just
no,
seemed like they weren't on the same page, or if I don't know if the rain on the ball slowed it down enough and messed up some routes. But I mean, but then you look at the Lions. I didn't see any of that. I mean, Goff is hitting every pass he throws to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they're on like a record streak right now. What 30 straight targets and
yep,
completions for the two of them. So Goff had to wear the two gloves. And I'm not saying Goff threw a lot of pretty balls. He didn't, but there were balls that got to his receiver, and the receiver made the catch. And that, to me, that was the difference. It was our guys caught the ball, Green Bay's didn't.
yep, and a lot of pretty um uh, uncharacteristic. Green Bay had a lot of false starts too at a home game. So
A lot of penalties for Green Bay. I was shocked. And at one point, Detroit had nothing. They had the two penalties on the same play from Brian Branch,
yep,
and then nothing for a while till the what was it, the Amik Robinson play you were talking about that gave the Packers their eventual touchdown on that fourth quarter drive. So the Lions played about as smart and as, you know, uh, turnover free football as you would want. Like it was seriously a game plan where there's like, look, they don't need to hang up 30 points, but it's control the ball, don't turn it over, and just play smart. And they played smart football. That's why at the end of the day, their total yards nowhere near Green Bay's because the pick six helped, but on offense they were efficient. They only had to punt what 2 times, 3 times,
I punted 4 times.
4 times. Okay, so 4 punts during the game. I mean, not terrible.
Yeah.
So I yeah.
So yeah, moving on here. Defensive edge position. Um, Mohammed and Houston are not working. Houston is specifically. I don't. I don't think he's ever going to play a snap again. There's a
Oh,
couple plays out there where he kind of like just stopped doing anything. He just stood there and let the play happen. So I know the Lions coaching staff are going to look at that, and I don't think Houston's going to be on this roster come soon or next year. So
well, I don't know. I thought Houston looked pretty okay out there. Obviously, nobody got a sack. That's a problem. They got a little pressure, but not as much as you would like. They are missing that edge piece. We'll see. Like with the trade deadline here, it's 7:43 Monday night before the trade deadline. So we'll see if something happens. Nothing's really broken through yet, but I don't know. They need something, but uh, I don't think Houston was that bad. I saw him on a lot of plays, so I don't know unless you saw something else clearly that I didn't. I mean, I thought he did okay.
yeah, I don't know. I think they do need to go out and get someone. I know there's a lot of talk right now of Zadarius Smith going to the Lions, but sounds like the Browns are kind of asking like a fourth round pick, and I don't think the
Do
Lions
it
want to give them a fourth round pick.
for a fourth round pick. That's like automatic. Like, please take our fourth round pick.
I don't think they have a fourth round pick to give.
Well, in 2026, who cares?
Well, but I think the Lions are kind of gonna wait until tomorrow, see what other teams are willing to give the Browns for Zadarius Smith, and
I
see
don't
if
know.
the
I don't think
Lions will want to match or
I don't
get
think you want
someone
to wait
else.
too long and let somebody undercut your bid or somebody swoop in and take it. I mean, while I don't think it wouldn't be the end of the world if they didn't complete a trade. I do think it's something they should get done if they want to just have a little bit of an insurance policy.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we'll see. They are shopping around. Dan Campbell had a press conference today saying that Brad Holm is looking around, but a deal's got to be done by both sides. Brad Holm can only do so much by giving offers. The other team just either has to accept it or um, ask for something else and see if Brad Holm wants to accept that offer or not. So,
yeah. Hey,
yeah,
well, I did see they made a couple roster move. Or they made a roster move today where they got rid of a couple guys to make room for putting Jamison Williams back on the roster because
yeah,
JMO's back. JMO's reinstated after his suspension. And so that leaves one extra spot that we're like, huh, who could they be adding? And so I think the Zadarius Smith thing is done. Maybe not like all the T's and I, dotted and crossed, but they got to be close. And they're just working out the finer points. I bet you it's got something to do with maybe some compensatory or what do they call it, where a third round pick could turn into a second round pick or whatever, a conditional pick.
yeah, maybe.
I bet
Or
you'd be something like that. You trade a fourth round pick and you conditionally could become a third round pick. I think that's what's going to happen.
yeah, we'll see. They got until tomorrow at 4 p.m. So I suspect something will get done. If not
Yeah.
Zadarius Smith, it'll be someone else for sure. All right, so let's look at Week 10 preview: Lions versus Texans. It is away November 10th at 8:20 p.m. on NBC. So a primetime game for the Lions.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
Texans right now are kind of hurting, and I think they're hurting a lot right now. They got no Stephon Diggs; he's out for the season. Sounds like Nico Collins, even though he's able to be reinstated off of IR this week, sounds like he not might not be able to play still. And their offensive line, I think one of their big starters on that offensive line got hurt this week. So yeah, it'll be tough for the Texans and CJ Stroud to make a lot of plays out there
We'll
for that
see. I
offensive
mean,
side.
they still got Joe Mixon as the running back.
Yeah,
Then I
unless
give
he
them a
got hurt.
chance. They look. They should be okay. I think the Lions still win this game, but if they get Nico Collins back this week, and I don't know if that. I heard he's coming back this week. Who knows if he actually plays? I don't know. But I also think the Texans, with a little bit of extra rest because they played Thursday night, you get a Sunday night game, so they got kind of a little extra rest going into this game with Detroit. And Detroit, another road game. What is this? Their fifth road game in the last 6 weeks? I
Yeah,
mean, shoot,
somewhere around
like
there.
something crazy like that. Yeah, they've had a lot of road games lately after starting off with a lot of home games. So I don't know. I this will be an interesting matchup for sure. I'm curious if CJ Stroud's going to rely on his legs more, which has always kind of been a problem for Detroit. You know, the running quarterback, but they kept Kyler Murray kind of in check, and if they can keep CJ Stroud in check, you know, kind of, I don't know if you want Anzalone as your spy. I mean, Anzalone is your heat-seeking missile in that linebacker crew, so he'd probably, for me, would probably be the guy to keep an eye on Stroud. But we'll see what happens. I think I'm not scared of the Texans' defense right now. I think Detroit should be okay. Jameson Williams coming back will be a big factor. I think he'll probably have a big game. Dan Campbell said he's just going to kick him out there and you know
Yeah,
get him rolling. So we'll see what happens. And then the Texans will also be rocking those brand new all red uniforms. So that'll be interesting. And I'm going to assume the Lions go all white again. They've been doing the full color uniforms lately and haven't lost the game wearing a monochrome uniform.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, if Nico Collins does not suit up, Joe Mixon, they got Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz,
Yeah, those guys
so a
aren't
couple
slouches.
couple big names there to keep an eye on. But yeah, like you said, JMO is coming back. Dan Campbell said he's just gonna kick him out there, and he's been at the facility all the past couple weeks. He's been on suspension. He's not able to practice, but he's still like in the building running whatever they do in there. So
Lift
it's not like
weights, you
he's
know.
been away
They eat
from the facility.
Uncrustables. They do a
Yeah.
lot of stuff in the facility.
So yeah, it's not like he's been away from the facilities. He's been there for meetings and all that stuff. So yeah, he should be able to go. And I expect a big game from JMO this week.
Do you think he catches a touchdown pass?
I think he's probably going to get over 100 yards and a a touchdown, if not two touchdowns.
Wow, what a prediction, Kyle. I
Yep.
love it.
So
I
put it in
love
the
it.
books.
Kyle's stone cold lock from Kyle Sutherland, everybody. Book it.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
Nope. I'm just checking my phone again for any sort of update from, Adam Schefter or anything, and nothing yet.
Yep. So yeah, we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, are you gonna do a special video when the trade happens, or are we just gonna talk about it next week?
If it's a big trade, I'll do a video.
Whoa! There you heard it here first, everybody. Make sure you get one of your cats on camera with you. That everybody likes the cats.
Oh, well, I got a new flag. Let me show you.
Oh, new flag. Nice pants. Oh, nice Michigan sweatpants, buddy. Oh, nice. Where are you gonna hang that up?
Uh, in front of the house.
I hope you do. I want to see that out in front of your house. Once you start taking down all your RFK signage out in your yard, I'm sorry that your candidate ain't going to get any votes.
Yeah, pretty upset about that.
Hey, politics suck.
It'll be over tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be all done. All.
All right, let's go ahead and close it out.
Yes, sir. We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the show and come back for more. Be sure to visit our World of Football, the big umbrella corporation that we are underneath. Go check out our website, worldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, me or Kyle, send us a $5 donation and probably some. I don't know. What do you play? You got PC, so you just send me Microsoft dollars, and we'll answer your email at info@theworldoffootball.com. You can connect with us by either liking the World of Football on Facebook or following the World of Football's X or Instagram accounts. Be sure to check out our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football, hosted by me and my father, Randy, where we talk all things that happen in the world of football, including some, we'll probably be talking trade deadline stuff because we'll be recording after the trade deadline's done. So go check us out for that and more football stuff, like indoor football stuff happened this past weekend. You got CFL playoff action, which we're excited about. So there's so much. Go check our show out over there. And new episodes of that drop every Tuesday, guys. So if you're on the podcast feed, just give us a little like and subscribe to us so you can hear us, whatever. And do the same on the YouTube page. Subscribe so you can get us anytime you need us. All right, and let's see. All those links are down in the description below. So,
All right, that's it for us this week. Remember, McDonald's, if you're listening, we'd love to
not a
be a
sponsor.
for you to be a
Not a
sponsor.
not a sponsor.
Kirby Joseph got the interception, so make sure you get those McDonald's fries before tomorrow hits, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Go Lions.
Yep, go Lions.
Get Zadarius Smith. Gosh darn it.
Or Max Crosby. I wouldn't be mad.
Or just get T.J. Watt out of retirement. I mean,
Or Miles
J.J.
Garrett.
Watt. Miles Garrett. J.J. Watt. What other famous? Is Robert Porsche still around? Get Robert Porsche.
Yeah.
And Dominican Sue, is he out there? I know he's not an edge player.
I swore I saw him in a uniform. I thought that was him.
I don't know. See you next week, everybody.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.